All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, it is a pleasure to talk to you guys on this beautiful Wednesday where we get to make our weekly predictions. Brandon will be joining me here in a little bit to get the show started. So today will be weekly predictions, and then we will try to bring you our weekly sports update whenever we can. Schedules change and everything, so it's perfectly fine. And right now, all we're doing is just waiting for Brandon to jump on to get rolling here for week 11. It's that time, we're way past the halfway point now. We're a little bit past the halfway. It sucks, but some teams should be looking towards it. And who's not? Speaking of which, Brandon, what's happening, man? How you doing?
They should have won.
It sucks because Tyler Van Dyke only played 2% of the offense, and he caused the one main turnover we couldn't. Like, God, man, God.
That was bad. That was a bad game. I was like, God
I
damn.
will say this though: if they keep playing like that, I'm pleased to know that the future's in good hands if they keep growing. So, I mean, that's the hope, right? That the underclassmen keep growing. So, hopefully, with another strong recruiting class, hopefully we can. My Lakers can just do this thing. Would be in good shape. But some station for another day.
Listen. At least you ain't the Clippers. That's all I can say.
Yo, does Kawhi Leonard look done? Or does Kawhi Leonard look done, dude? He looks so done with this team. He is so given up. Like, yo, he getting at everybody. Russell, Ivan Zubac. I'm like, yo, Kawhi Leonard just going off everybody. Yo, that last game, Kawhi Leonard looks so done, bro. He looks so done. Ruthless. But it ain't about the NBA right now. It's all about Week 11, where we get to make our predictions this week. And honestly, I will say this: we're gonna start it off, man, because finally, in the existence of Prime Video, they finally get a good, hopefully good Thursday Night Football matchup. Like, this is the one I have been giving rat poison for the last 2 years, and now they finally get a good one. They get a filet mignon tomorrow. They have been given rat poison the last two. And obviously, we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams that suffered huge losses in very huge ways. Baltimore being upset by Cleveland when they had this lead. It was, again, credit to Cleveland's defense for doing what they do. Like, credit to them because they did what they did. It's just Baltimore should have never given up that lead. And Cincinnati, they blew it. Let's face it, they blew it against the Houston Texans. They blew it. CJ Stroud is fucking for real, folks. Like, when we talked about last week, is he worthy of Offensive Player of the Year? He is Rookie Offensive Player of the Year. What you mean? What you mean is he worthy? But here we go, man. Here we go, Brandon. For the first time, everybody's excited for Prime Video tomorrow. Who do you have? Do you have the Cincinnati Bengals or do you got the Baltimore Ravens?
Cincinnati taking it up. I can easily see it happening. I feel like right now with the injuries, you got,
well, T. Higgins, Sam Hubbard, they're out.
Yeah.
Ronnie Marlon, so that's huge loss to Baltimore. That's huge.
That's a top tier loss. With Baltimore, like I said on my show that I posted today, you can't be losing games when you're literally up. You're at home.
It was a divisional game. You were up by a lot, and you blew it in the second half. And you can't lose.
Losing and you're blowing it. The fact that Cleveland's offense still wasn't good. Like Cleveland's offense did not do anything that really made that game supposed to turn that way. Like the fact that you lost that game, now knowing that Deshaun Watson had a fucking torn something in his shoulder is even worse. It's like, dude, you lost a game that you should have never lost at home. This was a game that was given to you. You had it. It's one thing when you're losing a game and it's close and everything like that. You were up 14 damn points. You were up 14. Like you should have won. You were at home.
Yeah.
It should have been all yours. And I think Baltimore is a product of their own success. I think they kind of they really do feel like they're so good, they're stupid.
Games like this, and you're like, did we fall into a trap here? Did we fall in love with the wrong? Now, I will say this. I will, because they did put it everywhere. I still will say this. For the people that gave us crap when we said that the Jacksonville Jaguars were frauds and that the Miami Dolphins were frauds, yeah, I want those apologies. Oh, Bills Mafia, I'm still waiting for those apologies. All right, still waiting for those apologies. Because I'll say this, Baltimore losing was a bad beat. But I know this. I know they ain't frauds because I know they'll figure it out. The other three teams that I talked about don't feel the same.
Look at us, thought we were crazy with the Chargers, the Bills, Jags, Dolphins. Kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass.
These damn teams are Dallas. Kiss my ass. Like, no. These teams are who they are. It is what it is. Baltimore losing, I can really sit up and say this. It's a divisional game.
It's a bad beat.
Things happen.
It's a bad beat. That's all it was.
And also on top of that, acting like Cleveland's defense isn't one of the best damn defenses in the NFL. I mean, the week prior, how many yards did Arizona have offensively? 83. Like the entire game. Like Cleveland's defense is that fucking good.
I want people to put that in perspective. One more yard, that is 21 yards per quarter.
I do believe.
Did you even attempt to try?
By the way, that was the game that they decided to trade Joshua Dobbs. It was like, we're going to trade Joshua Dobbs. And immediately was like, hey, Kyler Murray, please play.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure I wish Cleveland had a quarterback like Josh Dobbs on their roster to kind of Here's the deal. We didn't predict Josh Dobbs was going to get good. But you gotta admit, the guys, see, this is why Minnesota is still doing good, because Joshua Dobbs is at least doing. Here's the thing. He just does his job. And guess what Josh Dobbs is doing in that Minnesota team? That the defense is actually showing up, and the receivers, and now it's a race for the NFC North because Minnesota's not too far from Detroit. I still expect Detroit to win this, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. For me, I got the Ravens too, only because they're at home. There's no way, if Baltimore loses this one, then it's open for business. May the best team win, straight up. May the best team win, straight up. That's it. Now, next game we have here, it is the So you got Cowboys over Panthers, right?
I want people in media. Of course, I got that in the NFL.
Dominique Foxworthy.
That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard anybody say. He's playing literally. I literally checked because I heard it yesterday, and I heard it today, and I literally watched. I had to go check the NFL. I had to go check Dallas schedule. I had to go check who they played since they played the San Francisco 49ers. You want to know who they played since the San Francisco 49ers?
The Giants.
The Giants, the Rams, the Chargers, and the Eagles. Out of those 4 teams, what team do you actually think is actually going to make the playoffs?
The Eagles.
After that, it's like, dude, all the rest of these teams are like really going to be in a draft.
They're looking forward to the draft.
And he literally sits up there and literally says, Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the league. To who, motherfucker? Like, who are you lying to? Why are you lying to the people?
Whose payroll are you on to say this? This whole week I've been hearing about Lamar Jackson and his turnovers deficiencies. But we're not going to get on Josh Allen like that. We ain't going to get on Justin Herbert like that. We ain't going to get. And you're telling me we're going to get on him before all those other dudes. Okay. Okay. I just want to know.
Oh, Josh Allen. Listen, everybody, listen. That's me. The media is not going to portray anybody looking like Josh Allen as bad as he is. Josh Allen is literally right back to who he was as a rookie. He can't fucking throw the ball in tight windows. He's always never been that way. The only difference is Brian Dable shortened up his deficiency. That's it. Now he's back to being who the fuck he's been. It's not that surprising that Josh Allen is now shitting the bed in certain games. Holy shit, Josh Allen turns the ball over too many times. We've always known that. Why are we surprised now?
I've always said it. Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence, you're guaranteed turnovers. But nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to listen no more.
Joe Burrow is going to clean that shit up. Lamar Jackson is going to have 10 games where he's going to have those moments. But I don't believe Lamar Jackson turning the ball over is going to lose you a fucking football game. I think Lamar Jackson more so can win you a game. Jalen Hurts, early in the year, people kept screaming, he turned the ball over too much. What is happening? They're still 8-1. What are we talking about? As long as you're winning, nobody cares about the turnovers. Nobody cares about the goddamn turnovers. Patrick Mahomes has way more turnovers this year than he's had in the last couple of years. Does anybody bring that shit up?
No.
Not one. Brock Purdy turned the ball over as many times as a quarterback the last 3 games when they were losing, and nobody was like talking crazy. And now everybody's back on, is San Francisco up, right? No, they're San Francisco. They're okay. They're going to be okay. And they're going to play Philly in a couple weeks, and they're going to be like, oh, shit, well, San Francisco came at us with Philly. No shit. You just realizing that. Like, no shit. You just realizing that. Like,
that's all I got is just.
It's that. Like, listen, like I said, Dallas is going to win this game. Congratulations to Dallas. But stop trying to sell me on Dallas and Dak Prescott is a great quarterback. Dak Prescott is playing. Thank God he's finally realized, oh, wow, we're actually better than these teams. We're better than these teams. Yeah, he can beat these teams. But don't sit up here and tell me if he plays Detroit, if he plays San Francisco again. He might get to beat Philly and Dallas in a couple of weeks because that's a rivalry game. I expect him to beat them in a rivalry game.
And if they don't, then it's like, yeah, it's just Philly's better, dude. That's it.
But in the playoffs, I do not expect Dak Prescott to show the fuck up.
No, I'm good. I'm good. And I got Dallas too, only because of the fact we know this much. The Panthers, they know. They know. They know. That's all I got. Now, this next game.
I want people to acknowledge the fact that me and you both, well, you picked Bryce Young, I think, second when we did Mark Jobs. I said this. I said, bro, if I was anybody, I would not take Bryce Young that fucking high. He is too goddamn small, and he can't do all
I think, here's the thing for me. I think Bryce Young is doing as what the restraints of his team. That's what it is. And it's not that he's playing bad. Yes, has he had rookie moments? Absolutely. Who doesn't, right? But you can see that the promise is there. And I truly believe it. Here's the deal. For me, well, for me, it's this. For Frank Wright, he's got to get it right next year, or it's going to be bad, or he's done. Because what's the one thing that Frank Wright always said? Well, he couldn't get in Indianapolis. His guy. He always had to go through recycled quarterbacks, right? Well, okay, we gave you your guy. As a matter of fact, we even gave up our best offensive weapon to get you your guy. You better turn that crap salad into, chicken soup, because
Here's the thing people don't want to admit also. Carolina now is looked at as like the last destination. I know people that will go to the Colts first, maybe even the Titans first. That damn sure going to Houston first because they believe in the quarterback.
here's the thing. Houston is about to become a very popular name here in the next like 2 freaking new names. So yeah, I got Dallas here. Now, this next game, it's a divisional game, and it's going to be a tough one. Where if you like high, fast-paced offense, high scoring, deep ball throwing, the boards being lit up, fireworks everywhere, do not tune into this game, folks, because it is going to be one of those long, grinning games. I'm talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. It's the battle of the trenches of who gets which special teams unit shows out the best. That's what it is, folks. That's what it's going to be. Look. Did you see that Sunday night game? What did I tell you? It is going to be the longest Sunday night game. And what happened? It was the longest Sunday night football game of my freaking life, dude. Even after that touchdown, I said, God, can this game be over already? God, can we just go home, please? I just want to go home. I was like, I got work in 2 hours. I got work in 2 hours. But we're talking about the Browns and Steelers, 2 teams that are both 6-3, have exceeded the expectations of. Now, here's the funny thing: the Steelers have been outgained every game, but they find a way to win. The Browns have the best defense in the NFL. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. The Browns have the best defense in the NFL. People don't want to admit it, but it is what it is. There you go. They're the best defense. Take it what you will. Brandon, no Deshaun Watson. I don't know what Matt Canada is going to come up with this week. Like, literally, the only reason I tune into Pittsburgh Steelers games at this point is to see how bad Matt Canada is as offensive coordinator. That's what I see. So, Brandon, who wins this and why? Jalen Warren, Najee Harris.
Najee Harris, kind of. Yeah, run the ball.
Ta-da.
Carry offense, we can just run the fucking ball. That might help you out a lot. Listen, I'm going Cleveland in this game. This feels like the Monday night game they played in week 2. It feels like that. It feels like a game that's just very defensively driven. I think in Pittsburgh's favor, they got a lot of defensive turnovers, especially early in that game. I think it's going to be the same, but just for Cleveland. I think Cleveland wins this game. Cleveland is screwed. And that's just been real. Cleveland is screwed. I think Myles Garrett is going to – listen, if Cleveland gets in the playoffs this season, I'm dead serious. Cleveland gets in the playoffs this season, fuck just defensive player of the year. You might have to look at Myles Garrett as MVP. Like, that shit is unreal. Like, if they get in the playoffs with this offense now, which, by the way, before Deshaun Watson got injured, wasn't shit.
It was Nick Chubb and everybody else.
And Nick Chubb wasn't even there.
Like, Nick Chubb was only there for a little bit.
And they are 6-3. Like, the fact that they have not had an offense this entire year, and they have 6 fucking wins, is amazing. That is a goddamn testament to Jim Schwartz and Myles Garrett and their war.
I guarantee you Jim Schwartz gets a coaching job because of this. He probably gets back a coach.
Jim Schwartz cannot coach to save his life, but defensively, he is the perfect example of a guy that is a made coordinator. He is a
Oh, he knows. He knows too. And
He is an incredible coordinator. He cannot head coach.
yeah, for me, man, I hate to do this. I hate to do this. But I'm going to go Cleveland too. I'm going to go Cleveland too. Knowing that they have no offense. But the problem is, and maybe the Steelers did figure out their offensive game plan. You know, maybe it is run with Jalen and Najee, you know, and worry about the pass later. I think week 2, the game that we saw, I just think that was more of a fact that the Cleveland Browns offense couldn't do anything because of the turnovers. We don't have to worry about it this week because they're not going to have a chance to do turnovers because it's going to be a defensive battle, I believe. And I just think the Browns are just going to take this one. It's going to be close, but I think the Browns are going to they're going to split the series with the Steelers this year, and I think the Browns get them this week. So it's tough, but so we're just going to go over these games real quick, and it's going to be really quick. You got the Lions over the Bears, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, if Monday goes the way it goes, Detroit will be the number 1 team in the NFC.
Okay. Yeah. And listen, we love Chicago. We do. It's just you're not there yet.
I see a lot of growth in Chicago. I see
They're growing, sure, but they're not there yet.
But listen, that first round, that first 2-3 picks that they don't have in the draft.
Marvin Harrison Jr. and the left tackle for Penn State. God almighty, I can't wait. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to look so sweet in a freaking Chicago Bears uniform. Like, God. You see who's out there? Marvin Harrison Jr. Fuck this. Like, fuck this. Yeah, I'm going to go Lions too. So, look, kudos to the Packers for putting up a good game. But the Chargers got this one, dude. I believe the Chargers had this one. I'm going to go with the Chargers here. Okay, good. One has CJ Stroud. The other, if the Chargers lose this one, oh my God. Oh my God. If the Chargers lose this one, they lose all credibility. All of it. All of it. Listen, I don't mind you losing to the Lions. Like, that's okay. Because the Lions are really good. You lose to this team? God, Brandon Staley. God. All right. You cannot go over this. One has CJ Stroud. The other one has Kyler Murray. I'm going with the Texans over the Cardinals here.
I told you last week Arizona was going to win. I told you.
Okay, they won because it's Atlanta.
Exactly. Yo, I was like, that's the rest of the game. What the fuck is going on?
I think we know what Atlanta should do in this year's draft. I just have a feeling.
We know what they should do. Will they do it?
Fuck no. They've shown me time and time again. You know, there's probably a quarterback who's a left-handed quarterback who has amazing strength and great accuracy and can push the ball down the field. And they're probably going to take a freaking, cornerback that's projected to be in the 3rd round because he has the best trajectory eyes in the whole draft or some shit. I don't know.
I can definitely see Atlanta drafting like a receiver.
And we are planning to do a live on draft day.
Yeah, do that.
And I swear to Jesus,
I see you being very frustrated. I see into the future. You're very frustrated. Like Atlanta did this shit again.
Like Atlanta screwed this up again. No, please don't take the wide receiver who broke records at LSU. No, don't take the linebacker edge hybrid player who won multiple awards as a defensive player in college. No, please don't do that. No, don't take the talent defensive tackle who has more championship rings than almost anybody in goddamn country in college football. No, don't do that. No, don't do this. And somehow Arthur Smith has been reported that he'll be back for 2024. God help the Atlanta Falcons. God help them.
You know how you used to be happy when John Elway was GM of the Denver Broncos? I am happy that Arthur Smith is the head coach of Atlanta.
I miss John Elway. Because you know why? The Broncos actually look pretty good now. I miss John Elway, the general manager. I felt not right for all those years. John Elway, the general manager. I'm like, he'll fuck it up somehow. He traded Von Miller in the last years of his prime. Yeah, go John Elway. Fuck yeah. Thank you. So yeah, Texans over Cardinals, we're good. Okay. And Jags over Titans, we good? Don't you do it. Oh, hell no, dude. Hell, you are not jumping on this Will Levis train, are you?
Oh, fuck no. I'm jumping on the Jags sub train.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, come on, bro. It's the Jaguars.
I get it. I get it. I get it. But you cannot tell me a team of this caliber can't handle a Tennessee Titans football team? Come on.
Listen. It's one, divisional.
Okay.
Two, Tennessee's offense has moved the ball. I'm not saying they're moving the ball incredibly well, but
they're moving. They're alive.
Possibly. But I do believe this. I don't trust the Jags. This is the time where the Jags can either make it or break it. And this is a very shaky fucking time. Like I've been saying, you go on a bye week, you have a 5-game winning streak, and the first time you play somebody that's actually on your level or a little bit above it, you look like you look. That's disturbing. I don't care how people want to slice.
No, they didn't look like they looked. They underperformed on what they looked against Everett. Like, here's the thing, because all this week of, Jacksonville's for real. Well, what about this team? What about Baltimore? Nah, that's just a flash in the pan. They'll and I'm like, you serious? Okay. I'll tell you like this. I bet you Baltimore puts up a better game against San Francisco than the Jags do. That's just me, though.
I want people to understand this. Like I said this on my show, and I said here. This is really the only year.
By the way, really good show. By the way, really great show.
This is the only year Jacksonville really has to win the AFC South outright. Because for the next 3 to 4 years, Tennessee, Colts, and Houston are all going to be in this conversation. This is the only year the Jags really have to win this division outright. And if they do not win this game, they play Houston in a couple weeks here. I believe Houston is going to beat the Jags and take the damn division.
You know what I found funny, though, when the Jaguars were playing the 49ers? Like, man, I cannot believe the turnovers of the Jaguars offense. And I'm like, this is what Trevor Lawrence has been doing his rookie year. What do you mean you're surprised by this? Even when they won the division last year, he was still the quarterback that had the most fumbles as a quarterback. What are you talking about?
I get it. Last year, when they came back against the Chargers, people really do forget that Trevor Lawrence had like 5 fucking turnovers in the first half. He had like 5 turnovers in the first fucking half.
Yeah.
The Chargers just suck. Like, that's about it.
The Chargers were just the Chargers.
The Chargers just suck. They had no receivers and they kept throwing the ball. Why they didn't run the ball in the second half? Nobody fucking knows. Nobody knows. But the fact of the matter is, don't sit up here and lie to me and act like the Jags. Man, the Jags were just so great in that game. No, the fuck they weren't. Trevor Lawrence really had.
Their defense was great. Their defense did their job.
4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That was his stats. Yo, you were actually sending me messages of Trevor Lawrence throwing picks. There's another one. I was like, hey.
Guess what? 20 minutes from now, come back. Come back to your messages. I'll be right here. Yeah, because people are shocked that all of a sudden it's like, man, I cannot believe the turnover of the Jags. This is what they've always been.
The Jags are not that team. They played a team that was on their level or above it, and they immediately crumbled. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. And in Houston, they better not lose this game, because if they lose it in Houston against C.J. Stroud and that team with that confidence that they are growing every damn week, you're not winning that game. You're going to lose. Probably not even make the playoffs.
And even if they do make the playoffs and they win the division, they get a team either like Cleveland, Baltimore. You got the Jags, 2 teams.
Depending on what happens tomorrow, Cincinnati wins. Cincinnati could probably take the AFC North, which means Baltimore will fall into the wild card. Let's say Jacksonville does win it. You want to see Baltimore for the first game of the fucking playoffs? That's really what you want to do?
You want to see the Browns? You want to see the Browns?
Oh, Pittsburgh. If you play Pittsburgh again, you're not beating Pittsburgh.
No,
You're not beating Pittsburgh. If you play Pittsburgh again, you're not beating Pittsburgh.
no, you're not. But look, I got the Jags only because of the fact of this. Yes, it is a good feel story that the Tennessee Titans look like they're going to move on from Ryan Tannehill. So that's that. That's over. They been did it when they told him when Ryan Tannehill got healthy and Ryan Tannehill was like, "Hey, I'm ready." He goes, "Yeah, here's the clipboard, here's the headset. Tell him, just be his second pair of eyes out there."
I would literally just tell Ryan Tannehill, "Hey man, just be ready just in case somebody gets injured as a receiver. Your ass is going back in as a receiver.
I haven't run a route in 10 years. It's like riding a bike, man. Get out there. It's like riding a bike, bro. Get out there. No, I got the Jags on this one only because, yes, it's a good feel that the Titans are moving effectively. But the problem is, it's like you said, they're moving effectively, but they're still not scoring enough. They showed it against Pittsburgh. They showed it against Tampa Bay. I don't expect them to score that much in this game either. That's why I have the Jacksonville Jaguars here.
I got Tennessee. I think Derrick Henry is going to go off. I think that I don't trust Will Levis that much, but I think
Jacksonville has shown if you put their backs against the wall, they will come out. But the problem is, it's a long season, and they cannot keep putting themselves in that position.
Does this not feel like a game that Jacksonville can lose? Because
no, they can. Trust me when I say this, they can.
You got beat down last week, and you're kind of like, oh, this is an easy dub for us. We can kind of get back on the board, and then they just lose.
Then they look at each other like, okay, what happened, guys? And let's see here. Washington versus the Washington, right? Dude. I don't know what the Giants got to do. They got God almighty, bro. It is like, why? Why? The fact that Dallas scored 40 on them again.
I want people to understand something. The Giants are not good.
No. I'm going to put it to you like this. I'm going to put it to you like this. Whoever the Giants draft in their pick, they would probably be the fourth best player on that team right now. I'm not joking.
Depending on what you do with Saquon, it might bump up to 3. Depending on what they do with Saquon, they might bump up to 3.
Because right now, here are the best players for the Giants. Sexy Dexy, Saquon Barkley, Andrew Thomas. Sure. I need another year, though. I need another year. Sure. Listen, I believe in Kayvon Thibodeau. I love Kayvon Thibodeau coming out. Can he do it again? Can he keep doing it consistently? Sure. If he does, then hey, sure. That might bump somebody up to 5.
Okay, the Giants suck. Let's just lay that as this. Washington, they are putting up a fight. They just don't have a fucking team. They are doing.
They don't have a line.
They don't have the offensive line. They don't have the defensive line. Like okay, you just trade like Montez Sweat and Chase Young, so okay. But for what they are, they can be something. They just got to get rid of Ryan Rivera.
That's all it is. Really, it has to come with fresh faces.
I hate to say it like that, but that's exactly what they got. They got to get rid of Ryan Rivera.
Because here's the thing. Eric Bieniemy, the game plan he had against Seattle, it was a great game plan. The defense just couldn't do shit. Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera just couldn't do shit. That was it. But yeah, I got Washington on this one only because of the fact that I think the Giants are just at a point now where they're just like, we're going to get a top pick and we're going to look at every possible. Here's the thing with the Giants, and I understand where people are coming from now. Every position it should be on the table for the Giants when it comes to draft day. Every position. I don't care if there's a guy on your team right now making $40 million. Every position should be on the table.
I remember when I think we talked about it when the Giants traded for Darren Waller, and we were like, "That's the best move the Raiders made in a while."
That was because that third rounder turned into Trey Tucker, and now this new offensive coordinator is using him like a motherfucker. Like, yeah, we're off the hook, baby. Yeah.
That was a bad decision. I don't know why they thought that bringing in Darren Waller. You have the receiving core. Why the fuck are you bringing in a guy that always is injured? I had no idea why the fuck.
It was rough. I mean, I love Darren Waller. Don't get me wrong, but
this is what the Giants are supposed to look like last year. They got a reprieve. Congratulations. They made the playoffs. I don't know how. Still, I don't fucking know how. They made the playoffs. It actually won a game. I think we forget that this is what the Giants are supposed to be last year. This isn't. They just skipped the year. This is exactly what the Giants.
Just like how I say that Mike Vrabel doesn't deserve the flesh that he's getting in New York, New Jersey, wherever they are.
When the owner overrides the decision of the head coach and the general manager, and still signs a guy that we all know is never going to.
Brian Daboll did exactly what his deficiencies to override his best, and his best was still 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions with 25 to 2,800 passing yards. And the owner looked at that and said, That's something I would expect seeing college quarterback 1,000. It's like, damn, that's out of this world. Bummer, man. Bummer.
15 touchdowns over 50,000 yards last year. We were like, and all it was like, that's my franchise. What the fuck is he watching? Who's he watching? Actual player. You know what the person is. You're not looking at what the fucking actual.
Because if this was any other franchise, Daniel Jones would have already been out in 2 fucking seasons.
I would have traded him 2 years ago. I'm like, yeah, this kid is just not it. It's just not it.
Give him a raise? Give me a break. Yeah, Washington over New York. It's not even close. Next up, we have 2 teams that are very interesting at this almost a little bit past the halfway mark. The Las Vegas Raiders are on a 2-game winning streak, and the Miami Dolphins are well, they had a bye week last week after the that tough loss in Germany, where man, that was just a tough beat. That was just a tough one. That was a tough beat. The Raiders coming in with high hopes, high energy after winning 2 in a row. Obviously, it was against the Jets and the Giants, but a win's a win, especially in this day and age. A win's a win, and the Dolphins are looking to try to get back on track. So, Brandon, who do you have? Do you have the Raiders or do you have the Dolphins on this one?
I got the Dolphins only because they're at home. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Miami on this one. There's a reason why Vegas has them as a 12-point favorite right now.
That's a crazy number.
However, Vegas did have the Jets as a 2-point favorite heading into Sunday Night Football, and that backfired immediately. But I will say this. It's not that I don't believe in the Raiders. It's not that. It's just the problem is one team is trying to fix the wrongdoings of the previous staff. Well, one team is trying, and I talked about it yesterday with my brother. It's one team is trying to do the wrongdoings of the previous staff, and one team is making moves. They try to make moves for the last 2-3 years to where they want to make a deep run in the playoffs. They're in 2 different time sets right now. They're in 2 different time compliant, whatever you want to call it. I got Miami too. I don't know about the whole 12. The only thing I wish for as a Raider fan in this Sunday, if they can look competitive to where they don't get embarrassed, then I know Antonio Pierce is doing something right with this team. So
I think Sunday watching that game, I feel like the Jets defense is amazing. So they didn't try to give the kid too much to overdo.
No, they didn't. You could tell. Now, that one touchdown throw he did out of whatever you want to call it, out of desperation, whatever, man. Good throw.
Michael Mayer is that dude. I don't think we had to lie about that. I think we got honest about that during the draft process. Like, Michael Mayer's the dude. We had him going like Green Bay and early first round and shit. He went to the Raiders.
Well, we lost Darren Waller. How do you replace that? Michael Mayer. I don't think that's a bad decision, guys. So now, is it going to take some time? Yeah, but if he keeps doing stuff like he did on Sunday, then we good.
I like the fact that they're using him more. Tells you a lot about Josh McDaniels, who actually drafted him and couldn't fucking figure him out. Tells you a lot, don't it? The fact that he cannot figure out a tight end that he actually drafted.
Put it like this. In 2 games, Antonio Pierce and his staff have more points per game than McDaniels has had in a year and a half.
By the way, Miami's defense isn't great. I want people to understand that. They're not great. So the Raiders can move the ball on Miami. That is a very
what I think it is they're getting healthy at the right time. Jalen Ramsey's coming back. Everybody's getting healthy at the right time for Miami.
Yeah.
And this could be the run that Miami does need. This could be the start of the run that Miami does need to prove themselves. Because right now, and I feel it too, right now, I look at Miami the same way I look at Minnesota. Dude, your point differential is obviously better. But it's the same thing as the Vikings. They beat teams they were supposed to be, and they lost to teams that were just better. And that's what it is. That's how I feel about the Miami Dolphins. It's like, yeah, you're supposed to beat teams like this. Like that, you have the talent to beat teams like this. But what we want to see is you beat teams like the Chiefs, the Ravens, teams like that, to where we can maybe throw a little bit more respect in there. We respect you because you're a winning team. But if you want to be put in that elite status, you got to win some of these games. So that's just me. But
Cowboys, you gotta actually win the games that actually really matter.
it's stuff like that. So, but I'm still going to go with Miami over the Raiders, and it's not because I don't trust the Raiders. It's just the Dolphins are on a different agenda than the Raiders right now. That's all it is. So,
That's a shaky game. Coming off the bye too against a team like the Raiders, who are feeling themselves, but also it just feels like if this is not a game that Miami should win.
put it like this: the Raiders somehow go into Miami and beat Miami. Damn. Now we really have to start talking about this AFC playoff picture because it just got a whole lot interesting. So, dead on confusing. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the 49ers. The Buccaneers, impressive win over Tennessee. And the 49ers, everybody's back, which means everybody's back on the Brock Purdy train, whatever. You got the 49ers, though, right? Okay, cool. We're good.
I have no faith that Brock Purdy is going to be great when it matters most. I have no faith in that. But in a game like this, yeah, they're going to win this. That's easy money. It's at home. It's Tampa. Yeah, easy money.
Okay, good. Because I got the 49ers, too. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm good. Next up, we have the New York Jets taking on the Buffalo Bills. The Jets, unfortunately, losing a heartbreaker. And it was a heartbreaker. Like, if you really looked at the game, the Jets got called back. They could have had 3 touchdowns in that Sunday Night Football game. The one where Breece Hall ran it in, but it was called back because of a holding. Another one because of an illegal chop block. And the other one where Zach Wilson dove for the end zone, got it in, but he stepped out of bounds. And then the holding penalty. That's what killed the Jets, honestly, on Sunday, was the penalties. Like, every flag that was out there, I was thinking, man, what do the Raiders do this time? The poor Jets, they just could not get out of their own way. Especially Tyler Conklin, man. Like, that dude wants to forget Sunday Night Football. Like, he wants to forget 2 holding penalties, 2 drop passes, and he interfered with Garrett Wilson to try to catch the game winner. That's tough, man. Tyler Conklin, he deserves no slack, but the thing is, he wants to forget Sunday Night Football. And the Bills, they want to forget about Monday Night Football. They absolutely want to forget about them. Here's the crazy thing, though. This is how I know Sean McDermott is almost kind of losing the team for me. For me personally. And Bills Mafia, you could chime in tomorrow when you see this show and you get on my DMs or whatever immediately. And this is how I feel Sean McDermott has lost this team. You ready for this? First play of scrimmage, swing pass to the halfback, James Cook. He gets a few yards. He fumbles it, which is a rarity for him. Denver recovers, and they don't put him on until the second quarter. So you're willing to bench the guy who doesn't really fumble a lot, is your only running game option. But you want to punish him for doing that? Meanwhile, you'll have Josh Allen throwing all willy-nilly to anybody besides Stephon Diggs. He throws more. Pretty much it's like this. If Stephon Diggs wanted the football, he might as well put on a Bronco jersey because that's the only way Stephon Diggs. If Stephon Diggs wants the ball the rest of the year, he has to put on the opposing team's jersey because that's the only way he's going to get the ball this year. Then on top of that, just 8 months ago, you fired Leslie Frazier because you believe that you brought in all the pieces for Leslie Frazier.
Well, Leslie Frazier, he stepped down respectively.
Okay, call it what you want. You let go of Leslie Frazier because you brought in all the pieces and you felt high and mighty that you brought in all the pieces and he couldn't get it done and you said, I will start play calling. Where's your defense, bro? Then you want to fire Ken Dorsey, even though he's managing a top 10 offense. And even though they turn over the ball a lot, they're still a top 10 offense. But you figured he's the problem because of how the offense is running? Okay. So let me explain to you what's happening here. Sean McDermott has brought respect back to the city of Buffalo because the city of Buffalo has been down for a long time. I think the ship has sailed. But you know what's going to happen? Ownership is going to give them more time because Sean McDermott brought us this. He brought us close. Yeah. That window is done. It is scene tape is on. It's Bills Super Bowl window is officially dead. I mean, it is so dead. Al Davis is saying hi. That's how dead it is. That's how dead he is.
It's getting bad out here. It's getting bad. Listen, I told you last year, they are the goddamn San Diego Chargers. They're never going to be better than the Bengals or the Chiefs.
And see, this is what I like. This is what I love to hear. This is what I love to hear from media. And I'm sorry to cut you off because there's a guy on NFL Network right now, Kyle Brandt. Kyle Brandt, he has been on a road rage of Buffalo is this and Buffalo is that. And they can take on this. And they're the Dallas Cowboys to the AFC. Yeah, I know. I know they're the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC because they always choke when it matters. They're better than the Chiefs because Josh Allen is a way better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. They're a way better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. The Bills are a way better team than the Cincinnati Bengals. They're a way better team than the Ravens.
I want people to understand something. You said it earlier. They fired the offensive coordinator knowing that they have still a top 10 defense. Do they turn the ball over a little bit? Obviously back. It's just everybody gets a chance to get the ball in their hands. I don't give a shit if you play defense or offense. Everybody gets a chance. You said this perfect. People, they go down, they get the ball, and then they drive down the field and they score. And all they got to do is play defense. That's it. Just play defense. Back low defense. And then Denver proceeds to drive the ball down the football field. Got to Will Lutz kicking range about 30 seconds, like 30 seconds.
Something, right?
It took him like no time at all to get down the fucking football field. This is the problem with Buffalo that people don't understand. It's not Josh Allen. Always. That head coach just is not the guy, man. He hasn't been the guy since the Kansas City Chiefs took 13 seconds and just walked down the field.
He hasn't been that guy since Detroit, when Detroit killed them, massacred them last Thanksgiving a year ago. Yes, Kyle Brandt, I am talking to you directly. Yes, your Buffalo Bills are the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC. You right there.
I told you this last year when we did our show. I said Cincinnati will beat Buffalo. Buffalo is officially San Diego, and they're the Chargers of the early 2000s, and they are exactly that, man. We gotta stop giving Buffalo this idea they're that great. No, they're okay. They can win you games. Look at them and think they're going to a fucking Super Bowl. I will never look at them and think they're going to Super Bowl because they're just not that team. They don't have the structure. They don't have the coaching staff. They don't have the ability. At the end of the day, and this is why I kept saying, Stephon Diggs is going to get traded. He is going to.
He looks so done.
He's leaving. And after
it has to be that his brother is speaking on his behalf, something's going. Buffalo, you had fun. You were great. You had a moment of clarity to where, hey, maybe this is it. Maybe all the years of heartbreak and they finally put it together. No, I will say this, though. You are going to be a very good team for a very long time. You're just not Super Bowl. So now the fact that for years, 2 years now, you have told me that you're the third best team, to be honest with you, if you were to play some of these teams, if I guarantee you right now, you were to play the Raiders right now with Aiden O'Connell, I'll take my squad. I will take the Raiders over the Bills right now. Because here's one thing. Buffalo will give up. We will die trying before we admit defeat. We will die trying, damn it.
I get Buffalo winning this game. I want people also in the media to stop shitting on Zach Wilson. Like Aaron Rodgers would do better in this. Aaron Rodgers, I hope he comes back in December.
I don't for the purpose of humanity, do not come back to this football. Not this Jets team. Don't come back.
Aaron Rodgers, come on back. Please come back. That'd be the last fucking football game you play in your life. The fuck are you thinking? Like, this offense.
Let me ask you this. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, did they fix the one issue that they had? Did they fix that offensive line?
I want people to look at the Jets the last couple of weeks. Brees Hall was running the shit out the ball. The last couple of weeks, Brees Hall hasn't done shit. He hasn't run at all.
The fact that the Raiders held Brees Hall to 22 rushing yards, hey, kudos, man.
I have Brees Hall as a fantasy player. I fucking know. He did not do shit.
You're like, well, Juan said that the Raiders' run defense was terrible. What the fuck?
It's like this team isn't getting better offensively. Garrett Wilson was more frustrated than ever. Like, and you bringing Aaron Rodgers back doesn't do shit but make him way worse and accessible to getting injured again. Why are you forcing your way back, sir, so you can get fucking injured and not play ever again? I hope you do come back. I hope all of this shit is true. I hope you got back. I hope you come back. I hope you really do. So you get your ass smashed into pieces and sent back to fuck home.
No. For the sake of humanity, I hope Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back because he doesn't. Here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers deserves to play football, but not for this team. Not for this team.
He wants to prove that he's not like everybody said he was in Green Bay. That's the biggest problem he has right now. He wants to prove I am a team player. I can do this. You're forcing a situation because of what.
And here's the thing: why would you want to come back in a situation where you know if you lose this game, you're dead in the water when it comes to the AFC? Because you look at the Colts, you look at the Raiders, you can even look at the Bills. You know, I don't know how much trust you have in them. You look at the Browns, you look at the Steelers, you look at the Ravens, you look at the Bengals. Guess what? They have the feel of wild card teams that actually deserve to be in the wild card.
December, okay. By the time December rolls around, the Jets are not going to be even in playoff contention. Like,
Thank you.
Next week they play the Texans in New York, right? Like next week they play the Texans in New York, which means you can literally lose 2 games back to back, and now you're really out.
No, not even that. If they lose this one, and if they lose to Texas, that's 4 in a row. You really want to come back to this team? Really? Okay.
For what reason? I have no clue. And also, you still got to play on Black Friday against the Dolphins. Like
He's so hell-bent on coming back, and I'm saying, no, dude. You deserve to play, but not for this team. Not for this team.
Because whatever he thinks is happening, and whatever he thinks he can physically cure, you got injured on the first fucking drive of the NFL season. For the same reason why I kept saying I do not trust the Jets this season. They don't have any offensive weapons, and their offensive line is terrible. That's not something you can cure.
I don't want to admit. This is what you are. There's no secrets no more. You are what you are. There's no now. Is there a chance where maybe some teams can maybe flip the switch? Maybe. But how often does that happen? How often does that happen? Right now, the only teams I can really see right now that is doing that, Minnesota, Denver, and God forbid, because the league would hate it, the Raiders flip a switch. Those three teams flip a switch. Guess what? This whole playoff race got interesting. God forbid if Cincinnati flips that switch, it's over. It's done.
It's a dangerous situation. I feel like a lot of listeners, man. I want Aaron Rodgers to understand something. You're rushing to come back to nothing.
Take your time, Aaron. Take your time. Because here's the thing. Robert Salea's not going to be there next year. Let's just call an ace an ace. He's not going to be there next year. He's not. It's a new regime, and hopefully this new regime can get the last ounce of good football Aaron Rodgers will have at that point. Because I got the Bills winning this one too. And it's not because I trust the Bills against this Jets defense. No. It's just the Jets have no offense. That's it. That's it. The best thing the Bills can do is trust their running game. Like how the Raiders trusted their running game all game and Josh Jacobs got free at the end. You have to trust your running game. Because if you let Josh Allen throw on this defense, oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. I dare you. I dare you, Sean McDermott, to throw the ball against this defense.
Very big in mode. He should do it. He should definitely try to throw the ball on Sauce Gardner and get it picked off and ran back.
Not even just Sauce Gardner. By the way, props to DJ Reader on that interception he did on Devontae. That was, I was pissed. I was very pissed because I'm like, oh, I think he's got Devontae. And then I see DJ Reader behind. I'm like, shit. He didn't pick him off. Yep. He picked him off. Damn it. Damn it. That happens. But kudos to our defense. Hanging tough to only allow a field goal at that situation. Kudos to them. Next up, we have the Seahawks taking on the Rams. A divisional game with a lot of implications. The Seahawks are trying to keep pace with the 49ers. The Rams are in a good spot to finally have a good draft pick in a very, very long time. You got the Seahawks, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, cool. I got the Seahawks too. Now we're going to move on to the next two games, which are the last two ones for primetime slots. And games finally have some meaning. If you would have told me 2 weeks ago, Minnesota and Denver, or 3 weeks ago, Minnesota and Denver were going to host a Sunday Night Football game, they look dead in the water. I mean, they look like they drowned, resurfaced up again, got saved, and drowned again. That's what it looked like. But now the Broncos, especially Russell Wilson, has been playing decent. And Josh Dobbs might actually find a and I don't know if it's going to be with Minnesota, but he's playing like he's going to get a starting gig next year. So here's the thing. You got two teams with both offenses actually looking. They're still trying to find their groove. But the defenses are showing up, and they're showing up great. Brandon, who do you got? Do you got the Denver Broncos or do you got the Minnesota Vikings?
I have Denver. One thing about Josh Dobbs is, yes, he's having an amazing year. But let's not get shit twisted. This feels really like Case Keenum.
It does, doesn't it? It
feels like a guy that he's showing you he can do it, but it's a reason why he's been a backup his whole fucking career.
Right.
Not sit up here and believe in that same logic. No, you're having a really good fucking year. I'm happy for you. But once teams really sit down and get tape on your ass, you ain't doing that shit again. I ain't doing that shit again. So great year. I'm happy for you. The Vikings might actually make the playoffs. It's gonna be great, and everybody gonna be screaming, Josh Dobbs should be a starter. And then you're gonna see next year, his first game, you're like, oh, no, he shouldn't. Fuck. Okay.
It kind of feels like a Case Keenum, Nick Foles situation, doesn't it?
It feels like a Case Keenum. Like it's like, bro, like yes, Same thing happened with Minnesota when Case Keenum came in that year. Their starting quarterback went down. I forgot who the starting quarterback was. Starting quarterback went down for the whole year. He comes in, takes the job. And you're like, oh, wow, look at that. Hey, you can do some things. And then you're like, oh, right, he's a backup. That's why. Okay, good. Okay.
Doesn't mean that he can't play. It's just
it's never been his play. It's never been that. It's like when we talk about like Minshew. It's like, oh, Minshew can win you a game. Yeah, he can easily win you a game.
he could sustain your offense, sure.
Yeah. Can he be consistent? No. I want people to go look at the Vikings game with the Saints. The first half, Josh Dobbs was doing his shit. He was killing. Second half, what happened? The defense got.
Hey, how do you feel that Jameis Winston has better connection with Chris Olave than Derek Carr does?
He's another one. A fucking backup. We're not going to sit up here and act like this dude is some great quarterback. He's a fucking backup. That's what he's supposed to do. Denver is going to win this game. I got more faith in Denver at home. That defense. I don't know if Justin Jefferson is still playing or not playing. I don't know. Which means Patrick Surtain is going to be on Jordan Addison. Which means you have no chance in hell.
And listen, not to take anything away from Jordan Addison, it's just Patrick Surtain is in a whole different league right now.
Listen, I can get mad at Josh Allen for a lot of shit, but I'm like, bro, Stephon Diggs, you got Patrick Surtain on you. I am not throwing you the fucking ball. Fuck that. Like, we gotta switch this up at some point. I want people to understand something. I think Minnesota might make the playoffs. I really do think they're going to make the playoffs. The NFC is not that great. They're not that great, but at the same time, I don't think they're good. I don't think Vikings are that superstar.
It's the same thing. I mean, here's the thing. It's the same story with the Minnesota Vikings. They're okay.
They're good. They're good.
And that should be enough.
That's okay. They're good.
But that's it. You're just good. Like, you're good because the rest of the conference is just that bad. That's what it is.
It's fucking terrible.
It's not Kirby and Dreamland, I'll tell you that. Like, it's bad.
Like, look at the NFC picture. The Saints are probably going to make it, which tells you a lot about the NFC South.
Somebody is gonna host a playoff game in that division.
I can't believe it, but it's going to happen.
It's gonna have somebody. Somebody is gonna own. Welcome to the playoffs, where the Dallas Cowboys at 11-5 travel to Atlanta with a 6-11 record.
The same teams in the NFC are going to make the playoffs. The only difference is the NFC South. And Detroit. That's the only two teams. The NFC South winner is going to be different.
I'm just gonna Rudy Gobert this shit on the NFC when it comes to that, like that man. I cannot believe. Speaking of Rudy Gobert, he single-handedly changed the world in the NBA. Wow.
He had to get choked out for it.
Draymond. He's like, yo, Draymond got him good. Like, hey, I was watching that and I'm just like, they're gonna get suspended, right? like they're gonna get suspended, right? Or they're gonna come to see a real difference with suspension. I'm like, God damn.
He got choked the fuck out.
Man. What you choking me for? This is for 2020. I've been waiting for this for a long time. You took a year away from me. I'm like, whoa. Like, God damn. Like, he really held that in. So I'm actually going to go with Minnesota here. And the reason I'm going to go with Minnesota is because credit where credit is due. The defense has been playing well. Brian Flores is at his magic again. the problem with Denver. Yes, even though they are winning and Russell Wilson is doing great, the offense is still shaky at best when it comes to in some areas. And I think that's where Minnesota's defense is going to outperform the Denver defense for this Monday Night Football matchup. And that's why I have Minnesota. Not because they're going to score 50 points. Neither of these teams are. They're not even going to get to 30, God forbid, because then there goes my prediction. But I just think the Minnesota defense is at a better pace right now than the Denver Broncos are. That's all it is. The Denver Broncos have been playing teams that just have okay offenses, but they haven't played a team with a good defense. This is going to be their first test. This is going to be their first test. If they get past this, then I don't know what's going to stop the Broncos. Oh, even though people that week were like, Kansas City's the best defense in the NFL. That's the best defense. That's the best defense in the NFL. Then God, my Raiders are not that far off, bro. God almighty. ESPN had Kansas City as the best defense in the league. And I'm like, if that's the best defense, then man, I really want to see what Georgia can do at an NFL level. God, I just want to see what they can do in the NFL level. The kids they have right now.
Michigan looks amazing.
Michigan's defense would look great in the NFL then. Oh my God. Now, this last game is the Monday nighter. It is the Monday night game, and I think everybody's been anticipating because both teams are as healthy as you want them. Both teams took the same bye at the same time, so it's going to be great. And, of course, we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl rematch we've all been waiting for. That a lot of teams have circled. I know the Eagles have circled this game. I know they have. The Philadelphia Eagles, 8-1, the best. No, I'm sorry. 8-1 or 9-1? 9-1. 9-1. Sorry. 8-1. That's right. Yes, you are correct. Philadelphia Eagles, 8-1, number one seed in the NFC. 4 now. Kansas City, doing their thing. They're the number one seed in the AFC. And I mean this with all respect. 4 now. You'll see. Oh, you'll see what's going to happen. But yeah, it is a Super Bowl rematch that I think everybody is ready for. I think this is going to be one of the most highly anticipated.
I still think your prediction is a little weird, but okay, go ahead.
I'm just saying. 4 now. And by week 17, I'll be like, yes, talk to me. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. What did I tell you week 1, guys? What did I tell you week 1? I know this much. I think I'm about to have my text messages ready for our good friend, Mr. Packer himself. When he says by week 17, I'm going to text him that the Green Bay Packers are going to be NFC South champions. Yeah. But anyway, Philadelphia versus Kansas City, 2 teams that are ready for the Super Bowl rematch. So, Brandon, I ask you to end the night. Who do you have, the Philadelphia Eagles or the Kansas City Chiefs?
This is such a weird game. Andy Reid is really good off of buys, and Philly is just really good against really good teams. So this is such a weird game. But I'm going with the team that I actually trust the most, and that is Philly. Oh my God. I trust Philly way more than I trust Kansas City. That defense of Philly is very damn suspect. I worry about things.
Oh, the Jonathan Gannon effect is real. Like,
yeah, it's a real thing. The middle of the field they had problems with even last year, but it's like this shouldn't be this goddamn bad. Like how bad it looks bad. But with that being said, I just trust Philly more, man. And that offensive line of Kansas City isn't great. They can't run the ball. Like the last couple of times Kansas City has physically played, Isaiah Pacheco has not done anything. If all they really have offensively is Patrick Mahomes, and all he has is Travis Kelce. I'm so happy Taylor Swift is going to be there, and that's going to be awesome. They're going to get the ass. Like This is not going to end like the Super Bowl. Philly is got lucky, and again, we're going to see. Kansas City's offense, but it's going to show up. Kansas City got a lot of open receivers in that Super Bowl because of how Eric Bieniemy coached them. Matt Nagy is not Eric Bieniemy or Andy fucking Reid. I don't know who coaches the offense, but I know one thing: it ain't gonna be good. And plus, on top of that, there's Steve Spagnuolo, blitz this, blitz that. Okay, try that shit. Please try it, because AJ Brown's gonna be one-on-one with a cornerback. You really want to?
And it's not even just him. It's Devontae Smith. It's DeAndre Swift.
Julio Jones, ladies and gentlemen, could actually be a.
The fact that Julio Jones scored a touchdown this year, it just like it. I'm like, what year is it?
Julio Jones met the end zone, and the end zone was like, "Whoa, I haven't seen you in a minute. What the fuck is this?"
I had to make sure. I was like, am I dead?
The end zone was like, "What is going on?" Plus, on top of that, we haven't even spoke on this yet. But Kenneth Byard being there now for like a week and actually been in practice, that secondary can actually wake up. And if he's the one that's gonna be on Travis Kelce in this game, it could actually be something. So I just got Philly. I trust Philly way more. You can try that blitz package shit with Philly and immediately get caught. And then you're like, oh shit, we can't do that again. Like immediately have to change your game plan. So I think Philly's offense is just way better. Yeah, really ain't too much on the offensive line injury wise. And like I said, inside Reddick versus whoever is playing right tackle, give me Hassan Reddick. Like I don't care.
And it's not even just that. It's Orlando Brown. I want to enjoy this game because I think it's going to be a very, very good game. I think it's going to be an amazing football game. However, that being said, the problem is the Chiefs are going to they're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to live and die by the blitz. Brendan, they did that against the Broncos, and what happened? You don't think Philadelphia's offense is just a little above notch of the Denver Broncos offense? If you try that, the best bet for Kansas City is cover 4. Just cover 4. Have a spy. Last thing is that Dallas Goedert is not there, and even that's not even a bad thing. It's like, okay, we'll figure it out. If you understand losing your starting tight end for 4 weeks and they're still saying, we'll figure it out. You know how talented you have to be to be. So for me, it comes down to one thing and one thing only for me when it comes to this team. Who learned their mistakes last time? And I think Philly did. I think Philly learned from their mistakes, and they're going to do what they're going to do. And for everybody out there that called this crazy that Jalen Hurts outperformed Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl, okay. If Jalen Hurts outperforms Patrick Mahomes again, can we stop? Can we stop with the narrative that Jalen Hurts is not a true quarterback? Can we stop now? Can we stop?
I want enemy of bend but don't break. But they add don't break Monday. It's gonna be bad.
If they break twice early, game over. Because here's the difference. Isaiah Pacheco is not going to be a factor now because he hasn't been a factor. You don't have the same wide receivers with the same attitude. You're still trying. It's week 11, and you're still trying to build chemistry with your wide receivers. You traded for McCole Hardman, who you let walk in free agency. Trade him back to be a punt returner, and he has caused more problems on the special teams this in just 3 games than all year for Kansas City. Kansas City is good because Patrick Mahomes is still alive. That's it. But even Tom Brady for a while, the only reason the Patriots were good was because Tom Brady was still alive. There's been a report out there saying, have we seen the best of Patrick Mahomes? No, we have not. And that was such a stupid. I did not like that article. We have not seen the best. We have not seen the best of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes still has a lot to give. It's just there's going to be years like this where it's just not going to go his way. And that's going to be okay. I got Philly winning this one in a very close, tight matchup.
I think people have this idea in their heads Kansas City has been for years and not living in reality. Reality is Kansas City's offense isn't that. They're not that team anymore. And I think that people are not living in reality. That's why
because here's the thing. People think it's easy. Like, okay, we traded away Tyreek Hill. We'll just get Sky Moore. We'll just get these guys to like, they're speed demons too. They'll figure it out. You know, there's a difference between Tyreek Hill and these guys, right? Like, you know, there's a difference, right? And it's very funny because it's like, oh, this backup tight end, he could be just as good as Kelce. No, he can't. No. Kelce is a once-in-a-lifetime deal.
I don't think people really understand, like physically understand. Eric Bieniemy is gone, ladies and gentlemen. He is not coming back. He is gone. He helped Patrick Mahomes. As much as people want to shit on Eric Bieniemy and say he wasn't this, he wasn't that, he really wasn't the success of Kansas City's offense. Okay, look at Washington's offense, then look at Kansas City's offense. Washington can score. I don't know if Kansas City can have a shootout right now. They're not allowed.
They can't afford it. They can't afford a shootout.
They cannot afford a shootout.
Last year, 2 years ago, they couldn't afford a shootout. They could do it.
They go back. Ask Buffalo if they could afford a shootout 2 years ago. Like,
Can Kansas City afford a shootout now? No, they can't.
No.
They can't.
Like, let's be real. That Miami game, if Miami had the ball, if Tua doesn't fumble the ball the last play, Miami might score. I think Kansas City can stop Miami in overtime if they got the ball first. Fuck no.
It's just one of those things where I think people have to realize it's like, yes, Patrick Mahomes is great. We're not saying he's not. It's just there's going to be years like this where the rest of the team is not going to be able to live up to the same standards as Patrick Mahomes. Just like years past where Peyton Manning was great, but there's a lot of players on the team that is not going to live up to the expectations of Peyton Manning. Just like how Tom Brady was great for some years, and everybody else just could not live up to the expectations of Tom Brady. And that's okay. And you're still going to be a good football team, but doesn't mean that we expect you to win the Super Bowl. And the thing is, you've had a taste of it now in 2 out of the last 4 years. So all of a sudden, you believe it's your birthright to have a Super Bowl. No, there's a reason why teams don't go back to back as easily anymore, because it's a different era.
And then they're going to proceed to get the ass. It's just, then they're going to proceed to get the ass. Like, I don't think you have a running game that can keep the game moving, and then you don't have the receivers to get separation. The thing about Philly in the Dallas game, CeeDee Lamb got open. He figured out a way to get open. I don't think that way about Kansas City. They have not figured out a way to get these dudes open.
No.
And that's the biggest problem.
Yeah. And that's really what it's going to be. So I got Philly too. It's going to be close, but I got Philly too. Now, if you're a fan of the Falcons, Saints, the Colts, and the Patriots, please, you need it. You guys need it because, oh my God.
Yes, we desperately need it. This is.
Let's not kid ourselves. All those 4 teams I mentioned, you you guys need it.
Yes.
Like, enjoy enjoy life. Forget football for 1 week. Just enjoy life. That's it. Enjoy it.
Because our problems are going to kick in next fucking week.
Oh man. But that is it. That is our show. That is our predictions. You guys let us know in the comments what you guys think. Above all else, thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, Brandon, awesome always talking to you, my friend. Have a wonderful night. Everybody else, thank you so much for tuning. Eagles, yes, EAGLES, Eagles. We picked the Eagles to beat the Chiefs. So yes, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Until then, Brandon, as always, take care of yourself. Peace.